to differ whether or not what we do on this floor was the last option, was the only thing we could do. Mr. President, I think as a Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we could do better. Mr. President, you recalled, we had visited this matter. You that presided, you are presiding today. You, I can recall, you have presided over this matter more than 20 times. And we are not seeing visible results. Mr. President, it is also on record that between January to date, over 250 Nigerians were killed by these bandits. The question then arose to what is it that we are doing right and what is it that we are doing wrong? Why are we at every given time is lamentation and urging and calling on the federal government? I believe, Mr. President, with all sense of responsibility, it is our duty to raise germane questions to the executive, to the authority concerned. From the moment this matter started, as far back as 2014, how many recruitments were we made in our various security apparatus? How many military recruitments were we be able? How many police? How many DSS? How many NSGC have we recruited into the force? Believe in, sir, that if you want 1 million youth, by Friday you get them ready to be police, ready to be military, and ready to be DSS. We have not done that, not because this administration has not done that. It has become a recurring dismal, even from the PDP days, that we don't actually match our words with action. Mr. President, we cannot, in all honesty, begin to sit down when our constituents are getting killed and we do not call a spade a spade. Additionally to the recruitment, how many times have we interrogated the executives from the kind of arms they are purchasing? How many times have we taken cognizance of oversight to the military, their wherewithal, their capacity? How many times, Mr. President, have we paid attention to the welfare of these people? Just last week, one of my constituents was killed. In Borno, I had to use my money to transport the family that he left back home. And as of today, I am following up 3 people that were killed in my constituency for their pension arrears, for their pension payments. Mr. President, there is no way with this kind of attitude. People got killed. They were merely mentioned. Their families were left stranded. It's a human thing. Other people in front line, how are you encouraging them? What protection are you giving these people? We are not losing this by ordinary civilians. So day in, day out, Mr. President, we are losing personnel in uniform. Soldiers, police, DSS. In spite of the fact that there are not many, yet we are losing them. Mr. President, let's search our conscience. Let's ask ourselves the home truth. Are we doing the needful? And as a Senate, if as a country we are not doing the needful, we have options, sir, with this constitution to approach the executive and the powers that be and raise our position to them. I was trying to go through, finally, sir, I was trying to go through motions of this nature last year. And I said, even you have presided over 20. So we're in the new year again. Lamentation continues. Urging the federal government continues. It doesn't make a difference. Mr. President, I hope the leadership of the Senate and that of the House will sit down, take a holistic look at this matter, and find out whether or not we are doing the right thing. Thank you.
The last but not the rural community, Kayama local government area of Kwara State. The Senate knows with profound shock and deep sorrow the gruesome killing of over 100 innocent persons in rural community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State on the 3rd February 2026. Also knows that condolence visits by the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Deputy Senate President, governors, and senators to condole with the government of Kwara State and the people of Kayama local government. The Senate acknowledges that prompt humanitarian interventions on the directive of the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by National Emergency Management Agency, the Kwara State Emergency Management Agency, Red Cross, as well as the subsequent deployment of personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces under Operation Savannah Shield and the Nigerian Police Force to the affected communities. The Senate is concerned that communities in remote and forest bordering areas remain vulnerable and require enhanced protection, early warning mechanisms, and rapid response to prevent loss of lives and humanitarian crisis. Accordingly, Senate resolves to 1, urge the federal government through the service chiefs and the Office of the National Security Advisor to intensify efforts towards the safe rescue and release of all abducted women and children from rural community. 2, call on the federal government to redesign and comprehensively clear the Kanji Forest Reserve of criminal elements and consider the strategic establishment of security formations where necessary. 3, encourage the conversion of designated and secure portion of the forest reserve into regulated agricultural zones with value chain economic activities to promote food security and lawful livelihoods. 4, urge the federal and state governments to provide comprehensive support, resources, and well-structured programs for displaced farmers and residents of rural community in neighboring areas, aimed at restoring their livelihoods, rebuilding economic resilience, and enabling them to regain sustainable economic stability. 5, urge the federal government to urgently fund and complete the already awarded Wawa Kayama and Kayama Kishi Road projects, noting that terrible state of these roads has made access to communities difficult and worsened the insecurity in the region. The Senate emphasizes that the completing these strategy routes will improve accessibility, enhance security operation, and promote economic and social development across the affected community. I so move, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Suleiman Umar Sadiq. Please, can we listen, please? Silence. This is a very important motion. A motion to address or to talk about the tragedy that occurred in the Kayama area of Kwara State, where several people were killed. So please, we need to listen, we need to be silent so that we can deal with this motion because of its importance. I call on my leader to second and then thereafter make his contribution, and then we call on later, and then Senator Ademalero will also have the floor.
First of all, it was unfortunate that we lost so many lives and many others had injuries. We failed to protect our people. But it was not a deliberate failure. Our system at this moment, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, requires that we enhance it let me commend Mr. President for immediately directing for taking a battalion to that area to secure the environment. But what that also means is some loopholes, some weak points were created by moving out those soldiers and our armed forces. And therefore we need to work with the executive arm of government to insist on recruiting more and more soldiers and security forces. Mr. President, I once visited Kayama from Ilorin by road. I think we have sinned against Kwara North because a road.
Chief Whip, can you please keep the chamber silent, Chief Whip? Senator Orwell, please.
A road that is only 60 kilometers, Mr. President, will take you about 4 hours. 60 kilometers. The time has come, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, to address this particular situation because it enhances the chances of these criminals to attack, since motorists or the deplorable situation of the roads will not allow for escape. Mr. President, finally, let me say the Islamic society or Islamic community also has a responsibility here. Those who preach what is not Islam need to be dealt with by the Muslim community. Because if we allow people who preach what is never in the books, then it means we'll continue to have this kind of situation. And therefore, I was particularly saying the Islamic community itself, not government, because not everybody in government understands what happens. But we do, those of us who have that faith. So we should work to ensure that people are protected from being unnecessarily indoctrinated. And those who cause mayhem have no place in Islam. We all know that if you kill one person unjustifiably, it's like you have killed the whole world. That's the judgment in Islam. How can you kill anyone, whether that person is a Muslim or is a non-Muslim? It's never justified. So we also need to do something to ensure that people preach what is right and what is acceptable in the books. Lastly, I want to send my condolences to the Emir of Kayama and of course all our people in Kayama. May the souls of those who are killed rest in Al-Jannat al-Firdaus. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I would have called you Senator Salu because you come from Kwara, but already.
It is a known fact that the insurgents have been in Kayenji forest for over 3 years. They came all the way from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and settled at Kanji forest. And they have been training their personnel there. And from there, they operate and destabilize Kebbi State, Niger State, now Kwara State. From what I understand, they are even moving to Ocean State and even Oyo State. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is now time for us to flush out these insurgents. They are calling themselves Islamists, but there is nothing Islamic in what they are doing. Killing innocent people without any cause is un-Islamic. and it is not Islamic religion. So I therefore want to call on federal government to use all the available resources they have to flush out these bandits. We have the capacity, I believe, to deal with them. They have been there for the last 3 years. They have been operating and without any cost whatsoever. So let the Air Force, the Army, and the Forest Guard move en masse and flush these people out. This is the only way we can have peace in that area. Mr. President, this area is very, very fertile. Farmers from all over the northwest and north central do go there to produce food. And I'm afraid if we don't flush them out, it will seriously affect agricultural productivity in that area. And this will threaten our food security. I therefore want us to do all we can to ensure that we safeguard that forest. What the mover of the motion has not said is to observe 1 minute silence in honor of the departed souls. And I want to add that it's additional prayer. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Ahmed Lam, former President of the Senate.
Earlier position on the insecurity situations in the country, which have got to do with not only the security operatives, but with ourselves as well. And this buttresses the issue of forest guards. As much as they are doing, and as much as we want them to do, we should know that these guys are proactive. They are not just a bunch of non-entities. What they are doing could be detrimental. Of course, they are detrimental to humanity, but they have their level of intelligence. Intelligence, both in intellect and intelligence gathering. I had earlier on written, and have been pursuing it, for us to have a naval base in Umuasha district of Toto local government. Because while you are operating to protect and take total control of the forest, they are using the waterways to transport themselves to wherever they plan to operate. When the Senate was screening the newly then appointed Chief of Naval Staff, I raised this, and he said there is a base in Makodi. Makodi is too far from Umuasha. Umuasha is very close to Lokoja. So if in between they can go on canoes, they can go on flying boats, from after Makodi, they have a free ride to Lokoja. And from Lokoja, they go on land to do whatever they want to do. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am reiterating this position so that I get the backing of the Senate. And with this, I pray that this brings to end to these experiences of insecurity we have and losing lives each and every day, which is spiritually a bad omen to us. Part of what we are experiencing today negatively that is or are not good to humanity is because of the spiritual unhappiness on us, because you cannot continuously be shedding human blood and expect good from God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Urge the federal government through the service chiefs and the Office of National Security
who were gruesomely attacked and murdered
the Woru community of Kayama local government. Like I said here earlier about this continuous attack some months ago when it was in Kwara South, that injury to one is injury to all. In Kwara, we are fortunate to be interwoven in almost every sphere of life. And when things like this happen, it is not isolated to just one community. It is the whole of Kwara that it affects, by extension, Nigeria as a whole. Because any attack on humanity is an attack to every one of us. My contribution today is, first and foremost, to commiserate with the state, the local government, and the community in which this gruesome attack took place. I want to join other colleagues who have prayed for them and have asked for a 1-minute silence in honor of our departed souls. I hope that the federal government will further take more priorities in seeing that these gruesome attacks come to an end. We appreciate what the president and the security agencies are doing, but we wish and pray they do more, because the loss of one life is the loss to every one of us. So I want to enjoy my brother, Senator Sadiq Umar, to extend our commiseration to the community. I will continue to pray for them that may Almighty Allah grant them Al-Jannah to Firdaus. Thank you.
Well, we'll close the debate, but I see Senator Dike Plan and Senator Wadada wanted to speak. So I'll give you 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, we have closed the
Yes,
debate.
sir.
1 minute.
President of the Senate, my dear colleagues, I am Senator Dike Plan. I represent Plateau Central. I would like to show my appreciation to you for your considerate mind. I rise, sir, on behalf of myself and my constituents, to express my deep sympathy to our brothers in Kiyama local government of Kwara State and the sponsor of this bill. The other aspect I would like to look at particularly is most of our forest places. We have similar attacks in my constituent.
Clear the Kayenji Forest Reserve of criminal elements and consider the strategic establishment of security formations where necessary. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Encourage the conversion of designated and secure portions of the forest reserve into regulated agricultural zones with value chain economic activities to promote food security and lawful livelihoods. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Urge the federal and state governments to provide comprehensive support resources and well-structured programs for displaced farmers and residents of Woro community and neighboring areas, aimed at restoring their livelihoods, rebuilding economic resilience, and enabling them to regain sustainable economic stability. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Urge the federal government to urgently fund and complete the already awarded Wawa, Kayama, and Kayama Kishi Road projects. noting that the terrible state of these roads has made access to communities difficult and worsened insecurity in the region. The Senate emphasizes that completing these strategic routes will improve accessibility, enhance security operations, and promote economic and social development across the affected communities. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. That the Senate do observe 1 minute silence for the repose of the souls of the lost persons. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Can we now stand to observe the additional prayer?
Special rapid forces to mitigate early warnings and prevent attack on vulnerable communities.
Any seconder? Those in favor of the additional prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Can we now stand to observe? May the souls of those that were killed, the tragic attack that took place in Woro community, rest in perfect peace.
Service prosecuting the budgetary session. I will further move that we reconvene here on 24th of this month, 11 o'clock. I so move, Mr. President.
Before you, by bringing forward this motion, the federal government sent a delegation led by Mr. Vice President to condole with your people. And we also, when we went, I also led another delegation by the President of our country, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to condole with the people of Ilorin for the death of the Chief Imam of Ilorin and that of Kayama. We also utilize that opportunity to further condole with your people on the demise of your constituents in that tragic attack. It's quite sad, but the federal government has directed, the president has directed that more should be done in terms of the military intervention that has been deployed to that area, so that those who did that heinous crime be brought to justice, and that such thing never occur again. The president is doing very well in dealing with the matter. It is sad, but we hope that it will never occur again. And we commend the president for taking the action he has taken so far to deal with the matter. And we thank you very much for bringing this forward this motion. You've done well, and that is what is expected of a good representative like you, which you have been in any way. You have been a very good representative.